The old technology is, hey, let's get everybody into a room and let's download what's bothering you. That's old technology. That's old methodology. That's not Gen Z technology. That's coming into what's called dispute resolution forums. That's not what they want. It can become that, but you've got to be a bit more strategic. Let's come in with the high level area. Let's come in with what's really purposeful and commitment. This might be the issue, the challenge that we're dealing with, but what's the higher purpose? Come in with the higher purpose and then we'll find that breadcrumb. So you sort of want to come in with the big picture and you'll get the nugget at the end. Whereas the old technology would come in, look, this is the nugget. This is the thing that's stopping us from moving forward. How are we going to fix it? The Gen Zs would walk away from that. So you can't do that. So in unity, we find purpose, and in shared goals, we celebrate triumphs. So if you think about that, it's those shared goals where we celebrate the triumphs. Quick performance strategies for Gen Z engagement. Gen Z values efficiency, clarity, relevance, professional tasks. They like clear instructional guides. The one big thing that's come into reality over the last 10 to 12 years is gamification. So that's where we introduce game-like elements into processes to increase engagement and motivation. So gamification is like you create a series of tasks and it becomes a bit of a journey, but it's almost like a game, and people get involved a bit like a game. And there's various ways you can get involved in gamification. It could be for tasks, it could be for relevance, it could be for various elements, but it's normally there for processing, any sort of processes. And because it becomes a game, what that enables people to do is move further forward. It's like having 3 kids. If you ask the 3 kids to go and clean up the backyard with rakes, they probably won't want to do it. But if you say, hey, I want one person to clean up the leaves, but I want the other person to hide. And while they're cleaning up the leaves, I want the person that's hiding to be able to take a photo of this person without them knowing. And then the person that's pulling up the leaves needs to work out where that person is. All of a sudden it becomes a game. And then the third person says, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Well, you're going to be watering the plants, but you're going to have your back to them. And then they're going to take a photo of you. And all of a sudden it becomes a game, and they swap skill sets, and that's gamification. But you do that in a corporate environment. So merging digital education and communication needs digital interactive education that encourage adaptability. There's technical advancements that shape learning, promote digital literacy, gamified training, as we said. You know, when you look at self-learning through online resources, there's a lot out there. So anybody can now go onto YouTube or even TikTok and learn something, and learn something quite well. So we need to understand that we've got platforms out there, and if a Generation Z comes in and says, I've learned this, and you legitimately ask, where have you had this experience? And they say, on YouTube, then you can't meet that with laughter or resentment. You need to accept that that's a learning platform now. Online learning platforms are the way of the future. And yes, someone might have gone to university, but yes, somebody might have learned almost the same amount of stuff, or probably better or more pertinent stuff online, depending on what they're interested in. So we need to merge digital education and communication into the right portals that are relevant today. So, and communication needs to be flexible in all channels. You know, a Z-Gen, the way they do things is instant messaging. The way they, feel that they're relevant and they feel they're moving forward is through video conferencing, Zoom, Teams, all those sort of things. But where they lack is, they'll go onto a Zoom session and they'll just show their head. They won't show their whole body. Or they'll have their camera off and you can just hear their voice. They don't realize how important it is to see your whole body. They don't realize that, if I'm doing this presentation, all you can see is my head, you get bored. The minute you start to see your whole body, the minute you start to see your stance, your physiology, your hands, your movement, once you start to do all that, it's more powerful. We need to embed that into the Z-Gens because they don't understand that at all. The majority of them think, why do I need to switch my camera on? Well, it's pretty obvious. They don't see that because as a child, they're talking to this. Their parents are talking to them and they're delivering messages back while looking at the phone. So they don't understand the fact that if you looked at their parent, they get a better delivery. So we need to be able to show them, but we need to understand the different methodologies and flexible communication. IBM uses a range of communication tools, from traditional emails to instant messaging to apps like Slack and different preferences. So, we all use them now and we need to embrace them as such.
So, encouraging face-to-face and phone communication is great. There's a methodology called lucky dip conversations where you implement a system where employees randomly pick topics to discuss. And what we're trying to encourage is spontaneous type conversation. So you'd pick a topic out and then you give it to somebody to actually talk about. Now, when you do that, what you're doing is creating the ability to think on the spot. And that's an art form, that's a skill set that is sort of gone. And the reason why it's sort of gone over the last, say, 15 to 20 years, especially since the Z Gens have come into action, is no one talks spontaneously anymore because 90% of the conversation is here or on another device. Whereas years ago, someone would say something to you and you'd need to act on the spot, or you'd be lost somewhere, for example, or you couldn't find your keys, or you couldn't find a taxi, or you were lost. So you had to speak to somebody. And you could be I remember I was overseas once and I was lost, and I don't like being lost. I sort of get anxiety when I'm lost. I had to speak to people when I was living in Asia, and they gave me directions, and I was using sign language, I was drawing things, I was mapping things out. But I learned so much about the culture, I learned so much about the people. That was you're automatically getting lucky dip. But in this day and age, you don't get to think on the spot that much because guess what? You can go to Google and Google can tell you exactly where you want to go. Or you can go to ChatGPT or anywhere you really want to go and find the answer, which is good. But you don't get to think on your feet. And sometimes in the work environment, you need to be able to make a decision on your feet spontaneously, whether it's the right decision or the wrong decision. No decision is the worst decision. And sometimes if Google and YouTube and TikTok can't tell you, then you get no decision and you're idling, and that's not good. So the lucky dip conversations inspire that. They inspire people to think on their feet, to be quicker, to be more efficient, more productive with their time. And this is the thing, time is the most important determinant with value these days, not money. It's time first, then money. It's very easy to work out your dollar value. It's very difficult to work out the time value if you don't know how much time you're spending on something. So, if something's worth $100, you know that. But if you're spending an hour of your time, it's very easy to work out how much that hour has cost you.